What is up, guys? Welcome to another video. Another video means another dopamine high, because I had to buy something to feel something, and today we are doing another review, another Boba Fett repaint. Why is there so many? But the repaint in question today is his disguise attire, where he just paints his armor completely black, and it's just Boba Fett in black armor, and it goes hard for no reason. It just looks really cool. I don't know, but we do have another repaint from another Empire mold Boba Fett, which bums me out because if you saw the Droids Boba Fett video, you know how I feel about that figure. And if you are looking to pick up this figure, originally this figure was a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, but he is now on Hasbro Pulse for $33.99. But good luck, this guy is already sold out, and I have no idea if they're going to restock him. I will put a link in the description to Hasbro Pulse nonetheless if they do restock him. But after that, bless your heart, because you're going to have to go to eBay, and I cannot imagine what those aftermarket prices are going to do to your wallet. So like I said, link in the description to Hasbro Pulse if you want to see if you can get one from there for retail price. But after that, good luck. For those wondering why Boba Fett had to go into disguise, it all started when Boba Fett had to transport Han Solo to Jabba the Hutt. During the travel, he realized that Han may not survive the trip while inside of carbonite, and in order to make sure that he can increase the chances of Han's survivability, he stopped by and visited Doc Raygon, a doctor who specializes in this kind of stuff, and essentially, as payment, Doc Raygon asked Boba Fett to kill a certain pit fighter. Boba Fett took him up on the offer, but in order to not compromise the objective of getting Han to Jabba, he painted his armor black to disguise himself. Alright, with all that said, let's take a look at the figure. Taking a look at the box, I'm absolutely loving the design of this. Just everything goes hard on this box. The design, just the artwork. On the side we have his name. On the back we have some more awesome artwork. Literally just, I love how it's reflective as well. And then on the side we have some comic panels of him just doing him. And then we open up the box and we have the figure, some more artwork, and then a brief description of this disguised Boba Fett. One thing that threw me off was there's no like plastic guard, and I know they're switching all their packaging to being plastic free very soon, and I didn't know that this also reflected on this wave of figures, but no, it's whatever, as long as you don't put this guy in a store, because I feel like this figure can be easily stolen now. But with all that said, let's break down the figure. So starting off with articulation in the head region, we can rotate that head 360 degrees, and you can have him look up and down a very good amount, so love to see that there. And then you can tilt his head side to side, not a whole bunch, but that movement is there, so I'm happy with the range of motion in the head region of this figure. And then moving down to the arms, this is where things really get iffy. The shoulder really likes to clash with the chest rig on Boba Fett, and you have a lot of lack of motion in the arms because of that shoulder piece clashing, and it's just very unfortunate, especially because our boy comes with a certain accessory that heavily benefits from having a good range of motion in the arms. And then of course the gauntlet also clashes with the bicep as well. Like, you can still get some motion out of there, and then you can rotate his arm 360 degrees, and then you can rotate the hand 360 degrees and bend the wrist however you please. So overall, the same iffy arm articulation that makes me sad. And then getting to the torso articulation, you can rotate his torso 360 degrees, and you can kind of get this wibble wobble pivot out of him. And I wouldn't call it a crunch by any means, but you can have him go back and forth just a little bit. So there is a range of motion there. Could be better, could be worse, but like I said, it could be worse. And finally, taking a look at the legs, the pouches on his thigh and the pouches on his waist do clash with each other, so you have to rotate his legs if you want to bring his legs up by any mean, but then it looks really weird. So do what you will with that information. And then you can have him kind of do a split. I want to say you can have him do about 75%, 80% of a split. So that's good to see. And then you can rotate his thighs 360 degrees, and you can rotate his legs 360 degrees as well. Just be careful with the pouches clashing. And then the knee articulation actually isn't bad. You can kind of get him to do about 90%, 95% of a butt kick, which is always good to see for knee articulation. A wide range of motion is always welcomed. And then the leg, not the leg, I'm sorry, the feet articulation, of course you can bend it back and forth and rotate it 360 degrees, pretty much the same principle with the feet. So overall a iffy range of motion with the legs. Very happy with the knees and the feet though. So taking a look at accessories and just going over the first obvious one, and that is his jetpack, and you just put the peg in the peg hole and it's in there nice and secure. And for the first blaster included, that is Boba's Sarkos K11, and it's just the same mold that we've seen 100 times over. Looks good, gets the point across, and it's in just an all black paint job. And then the accessory to actually make this repaint more valuable than the rest, and that is his battle axe. Now this thing looks really cool. It's very big. I think it's taller than the figure, but I just think it's cool that they included this. It does replace his standard primary blaster, so that is not included with this figure, but I still think it's very cool that we got this accessory nonetheless. And like I said, I think it actually adds some value to this repaint because all the other repaints come with the same weapons, and you know, it's just the same thing, different colors. And the axe is actually kind of soft. The tips and the blades of the axe can bend, so be careful to make sure you don't, you know, roughhouse too hard and permanently bend one of the blades, because then it just looks all weird and you'll be disappointed. And that pretty much wraps things up for accessories. Now going over the visual presentation of this figure, there isn't too much to be discussed here. This is an Empire Strikes Back Boba Fett. After all, we've seen this guy for years now with the initial release, prototype androids Boba Fett on top of this boy right here. So it's the same figure, same sculpt, same everything with articulation and the mold. The only difference with this guy is that he's painted completely black, and I would talk about the paint job, but there isn't really too much to be discussed. I don't think they could really mess this up. It's just him painted black. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about the visual presentation of Boba Fett. I mean, I will say it is pretty cool seeing him donning completely black armor, but that's really about it. So with that said, let's do some size comparisons to put our boy in scale. Starting off, we do have NECA's Xenomorph Warrior, NECA's Jungle Hunter, Jazzwares Halo The Spartan Collection Mark 7 Red, Jazzwares World of Halo Halo 5 Buck, and McFarlane's The Doom Slayer. And while not a size comparison, here is in disguise Boba Fett next to Droids, prototype, and the initial release of the Empire Strikes Back of Boba Fett. Just thought it'd be cool to have them all next to each other lined up, just to see the vast differences amongst each other when it comes to their paint jobs. And here we are at the turntable segment of the video. This is the portion of the video where I go over what I like, dislike, give my basic thoughts and general opinions about this figure, and we're gonna go over what I dislike first, just to get that sour stuff out of the way. So to put it bluntly, the issue I have with this figure is that they're using the Empire Strikes Back Boba Fett, and it's not a bad looking figure. The sculpt is fine and all. It's the articulation is where I have issues with this figure. Just the range of motion in the arms, torso, and in the thigh area of the legs is just incredibly bad, and just there's a whole bunch of lack of, you know, movement, and the body restricts itself from moving in certain ways. It's just sad to see, and especially because this Boba Fett comes with a melee weapon, and the lack of range of motion in the arms, just the lost potential for posability and whatnot with the axe, because they went with this figure, is unfortunate. And I just kind of wish they went with the Return of the Jedi Boba Fett, but I feel like they didn't, because the Return of the Jedi Boba Fett is originally a deluxe figure. And I'm not saying, hey, make all Boba Fett releases deluxe releases. Like, just give us the Return of the Jedi Boba Fett. We don't need all the fancy flame effects and accessories. I just want the good articulation. And they didn't, and they gave us the Empire Strikes Back Boba Fett instead. And if there's another reason why they're not giving us Return of the Jedi Boba Fett, and if you know that answer, comment down below. Please enlighten me, because I feel like the only reason we're still using the Empire Strikes Back Boba Fett is A, because the Return of the Jedi Boba Fett is originally a deluxe figure, and they feel obligated to keep it a deluxe figure only, and that they already have the mold for the Empire Strikes Back Boba Fett, so it's just an easy cash grab to release that mold that you already have and paint it black or whatever color they want to. Yeah, to really dumb it down, I dislike the figure because the mold they're using has really bad articulation. And moving on to what I do like about this figure, and I really like how there is a new accessory with this repaint with the prototype and Droids Boba Fett. He comes with the same old blasters. Well, at least with this Boba Fett, he comes with a brand new accessory, adding some value to this repaint, actually making him more valuable than prototype or Droids Boba Fett, at least in my personal opinion, because he comes with something that the others don't. So yeah, that's pretty much what I like about this figure. After that, this is just a decent looking Empire Strikes Back Boba Fett. I'm fine with the sculpt. It's just the articulation I have an issue with. And the paint job, it goes hard for no reason. I just don't know why all black Boba Fett looks really cool, but he looks really cool. And yeah, that's pretty much what I can say I like about this figure. So please tell me down below, how do you feel about this figure? Do you like or dislike this figure? Tear it down in the comment section. Let me know how y'all feel. And I will say that I think this is more of a display figure rather than a play figure. And yes, I understand at the end of the day, this is an action figure, so you can do whatever the fuck you want with this figure. If you want to play with them, want to display them and not take them out of the box, by all means, go do that. And I'm not trying to sound like I'm gatekeeping, because anyone can buy this figure. You might not even know who In Disguise Boba Fett is, and you just think it looks cool. By all means, buy this figure. But I feel like the demographic for this figure is more of the people who have the expansive knowledge outside of the shows and the movies. This is geared towards the hardcore collectors and whatnot. So I feel like anyways, people would be displaying this figure rather than playing with them in the first place. Hence why I believe that this is more of a display figure. But I do believe that is all the input I have on this figure. If you agreed or disagreed with anything I said in this video, please comment down below. Let's create a discussion. Let's talk about the stuff, because I do enjoy talking about it. And yeah, on to the outro. So if you did like this video, a like and subscription would be awesome. You don't have to comment down below because that's a lot of effort. I get it. But if you do want to create a discussion, like I said before, you're more than welcome to. I will most likely respond to whatever you have to say, because I like talking about this stuff. And don't worry about the bell, because we both know that shit is broken. And if you want to see more stuff like this up on the channel, there is plenty of it. I do have a handful of Star Wars The Black Series reviews for you to watch. I also review some NECA stuff in the Predator and Alien realm of things, and I do some Halo stuff as well. So if any of that interests you, please go check it out. And with all that said, have a great day and stay hydrated.